Evening, folks, and welcome back to the View podcast for the match day preview of Leeds United against Swansea. Back to real football. I know that will upset a couple of people, but I'm a club fan more than I am an international fan. Although it was nice to see Ireland actually play really nice football and get two back-to-back wins. Stats, I was in shock at the end of that one. But yeah, we're back to the real stuff. And as I just mentioned his name, I am delighted to be joined, as always, for the previews by Andrew Stats Dalton. Mate, how are you? How's things?
I'm good. Been really busy this week. I had a charity gig, Ellen Road, last night in honour of the Stroke Association, which I'm wearing the T-shirt here. And we have raised a fantastic amount of over £3,000 for the charity event last night. So in awe of all the support and a wonderful occasion for the Stroke Association. Unfortunately, I lost my father back in November through a stroke very suddenly, and we had a nice quiz night at Ellen Road, really good fun, and just really enjoyable, and very, very proud and very honoured that so many people came, and an everlasting memory for my late father. And I just want to say thank you for all the support for everybody.
That's a fantastic gesture, mate. Absolutely. And my grandfather passed away with a stroke as well. So it's again, like cancer stuff as well. It's probably close to home to quite a lot of people. So but well done on that last night. And
thank you.
Congratulations on smashing the donation target that you set, which is fantastic.
And very honoured, and just a massive thank you, as I say, for everybody, and very much looking forward. Thank you, Michael. Really do appreciate the kind words, and I just hope he's up there. I'm sure feeling proud and very much looking down on us.
I'm sure he's very proud of you, mate. Don't worry about that for a second. And we got to talk about some football as well. We had a press conference today, Stats.
We did.
We're 2 days away from playing real football. I'm excited, and that's it now, Stats. This is it. This is the run-in. So there are 6 weeks left, and the entire season is done and dusted. Will we be in the same position as last year, sitting at the final day of the season, licking our wounds and feeling a little bit sorry for ourselves, or will we have enough, and can we keep our nerve to get over the line this year and finish the job? I've asked about 7 different AI tools to predict the league table at the end, bearing in mind how teams have played against each other and the fixtures that are left. And every single one of them has said Leeds top at 96 points. It has to be the right year for it. But we have a split fan base right now of people who are very nervous about this and those who are still very confident. Where are you sitting with this, Stats?
I've always been confident, and I'm not going to shy away from that. Just because we've obviously had an international break in Sheffield United and Burnley. Sheffield United join level on points, so they'll probably could go top tomorrow when they play Coventry City. And then Burnley play Bristol City on, I think, Saturday 3 o'clock, same time as Leeds Swansea. I still believe Leeds are going to have enough to go on and win the league. Thank you, Sean. Do appreciate the kind words. And thank you again, Chris. Doing the best we possibly can. On the playoffs. I've said from day one that when we kicked off against Portsmouth, and I said it on your channel on day one, that Leeds will go and win the league, and I'm not going to shy away from that now. I think the experience from last season will put us in good stead. We've virtually got a fully fit squad, from what Daniel has said in the press conference this afternoon, ahead of Swansea City games. And why not? It's a challenge. These are why the games you're in football. These are games where the players play football, and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is there for all to see. And I think it's going to be roller coaster over the next 6 weeks, and it's amazing to say that this time next week will be in April, heading towards 2 massive away games against Luton Town and against Middlesbrough. But first of all, Swansea City, Alan Sheehan's Swansea City, former Leeds United left back, of course. But we've got a brilliant home record. I think we'll win all 4 home games. I really do. And then we've got the 4 away games. We'll start with Swansea today, then I think we've got Preston, Bristol City, Stoke City, and obviously in that order at home. I think we'll take 12 points. That'll then take you to 92 points. And then I think if you pick 1 win away from home, that'll take you to 95 points, and then possibly draw a away game. And the one game I actually think we'll lose is Plymouth, because I think we'll be on the beach. I think we'll have too much booze, so to speak. And I think they'll probably have too much celebrate, a bit like Derby County 5 years ago. But I'm confident. I've always been confident. I'm always going to stick by that. Players are coming back at the right time. And the biggest news story to come out of the press conference today was the return of Ethan Ampadu, which I think is huge to have your club captain back in the starting lineup ahead of the run-in starting on Saturday afternoon against Swansea City at Allen Road.
Yeah, and the statistics back up Ethan Ampadu being in the team. Leeds concede less goals when he's in the side. So, I mean, that's a very strong statistic to have coming into the back end of the season. I think we've got good options in midfield and centre-back. But as you say, having your skipper back on the park is a massive motivational boost as well. It'll be a big one around the mood in the camp as well. And again, he's back 2 weeks ahead of schedule, according to Daniel Farke. He was asked today in the press conference, should he see his medical team as unsung heroes? And the first thing he said was, well, I think they might be extending the return dates on these players to make it look like they're coming back earlier than they should be. But he said that they deserve a huge amount of credit. They've done a great job this season. And it's been great. Considering this time last year, we came out of an international break, Stats, with Jorginho Rutter having just had a hernia operation and didn't look himself the remainder of the season. Pascal Struijk was out injured. Pat Bamford was out injured. And they had been in the side up until that point as well. So it's a big boost to have that back. He said that he's pretty much got 100% of his squad available to him right now. Will he not? There will be a late check, but we'll go through all that in a couple of minutes anyway. We can go through the team news. But yeah, there's some really good boost there. He was asked about the drop off last year and said he doesn't see it as the same case. And I wanted to bring a comment in that was saved. Give me 1 second. I'll grab this real quick from Jason Redshaw. Just remind us, Jason said, what do we think of Farke throwing Somerville and Rutter under the bus from last season's running? And I think there's a little bit of context. He did say that it wasn't anybody's fault.
Yes,
and he wasn't pointing fingers or blaming anyone. That should be the caveat to that. He did say, I'm not blaming anyone, but he did, and I wrote it down as well. It's a really good point, Jason. He did say that coming out of international break, we had some contractual situations where players knew if we didn't go up automatically, they could still go up themselves with other clubs. And he said that did cause a few little niggles behind the scenes. So he said we don't have that situation this year. So I don't think he was necessarily hanging both of them out to dry. If you look at Jorginho Rutter's reaction at full time, the man was inconsolable in the playoff final. And it suggested to me that he wanted to go up with Leeds, whether he had it in his contract or not to move on. He wanted to go up with Leeds. Lockie will always say there were certain people who he looked at after the playoff final who didn't look overly bothered that we lost the game, and Chris Somerville was one of those players that was mentioned, but not by Lockie, but mentioned by other people. Just was out talking, messing, laughing with people. Well, some of the players were just absolutely distraught on the park. So there is a bit of context to that, but yeah, it was an interesting factor that right now this year he doesn't have the injury concerns he had last year. He doesn't have the contractual issues he had last year, and everyone behind the scenes seems to be in a much more unified state. Stats.
Yes. Yeah, and I think you learn from the past, don't you, that obviously there was a situation with Chris Somerville, with Jorginho Rutter. We didn't know what was going on sort of contracts if we didn't go up, or who had sort of clauses in the contracts. And this year, it's taking nothing away from those players. The squad probably feels a bit closer knit to me this season. So yeah, and I think the players that were there last season will have probably learned from where it went wrong, because as you rightly say, you look back to the international break of March last year, the games that followed that, Watford drew 2-2, didn't know at the time, and I think that was on Good Friday. Coventry lost 2-1 at the CBS, and then the home games against Sunderland 0-0 and Blackburn 1-0, and they're the 4 games that probably did Kozovko and QPR as well. But yeah, we've got an opportunity, and I've used that word quite a lot this season. But I think it's now time for Leeds to put the foot on the gas. It's not going to be easy. There will be a lot of bumps and bruises along the way the next 8 games. It's part and parcel of it. But they've now got an opportunity, these players, to go and be heroes and get Leeds back into the promised land of the Premier League, starting against Swansea City on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And again, it's another game that I'm very much looking forward to. And if we can get the win and get the 3 points, that puts on 83 points and set us in good stead for a double header away from home that we know what the 12:30 record's like against Luton. I know we're going to talk about that next week. And then Middlesbrough, which is a really tricky game because they'll want to do one over us and cement their place in the top 6. But it's one game at a time. it's hard not to look at the team's fixtures at this time of year because they have such a massive effect. Obviously, Coventry go to Bramall Lane tomorrow, and obviously Chris Wilder's side are on buoyed by the Derby victory over Sheffield Wednesday last time out. Frank Lampard's had a brilliant effect, as much as it pains probably Leeds fans to say it at the CBS. And then Burnley play Bristol City, a Bristol City side who stopped Sheffield United in the tracks a couple of weeks ago. So it's exciting. It's great to watch. There's a lot to play for. And I just feel that Leeds will have enough to go over the line. I think it might go to the wire. But there's a lot of water to go, a lot of bridges between now and May the 3rd and a trip to Home Park and play Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, in my head, I'm hoping we have it done by Bristol City before we get to the Bristol City game at home, which second last game of the season. But as you say, there will be twists and turns in this. There will be more late drama in this. It's not going to be straightforward. There's still lots of points. I love how you've done the maths on the points total. I have it literally sitting exactly in front of me. And the way I wrote it was, win the home games gives you 12 points, put you on 92. Yes. Draw all 4 away games, that'll put you on 96. If you win one of them and draw the rest, you finish on 98 and you should go up as champions, or at least automatic anyway. So
we're all excited. Doing it.
Yeah, I am as well. This is what we're living for. This is, you're waiting all season to get to the run in the final sprint.
This is the business end. Yeah.
I mean, what's the most exciting event at the Olympics? The 100-meter sprint. It's over in 9 seconds, but everyone waits all year for it.
And that's what it is, isn't it? It's a sprint finish now, isn't it? We've had the marathon. It is now a sprint. And yeah, I'm excited. A lot of football to come, and I think you get that tinge of excitement. You've had the 38 league games leading up to this. You've got 24 points left. They can still get to 100 points. They know they've got 200 points. They can still beat the tally of 93 points, the record that they got under Bielsa. So a lot to play for, and it'll be to and fro, and there'll be a lot of mind games, I'm sure, between Scott Parker, Daniel Farker, and Chris Wilder. But part of the fun. It's part of the game, isn't it? And yeah, I'm excited. I love this time of the season, and to be involved with it as well as a fan is special. And I'm hoping that come that Bristol City game, there'll be a big celebration in and around the city of Leeds.
Oh, fingers crossed, mate. Yeah, the weekend's action kicks off on Friday night. Sheffield United will host Frank Lampard's Coventry. Someone asked me last week, the other day, why is the Frank Lampard's Coventry and not just Coventry? We're just taking the piss out of the Sky Sports news readers, I suppose, who every time Frank Lampard touches anything becomes Frank Lampard's whatever that thing is.
It's like Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle, so to speak.
If you're of a certain English timing and play for the national side, they put you in this bracket. You know, so
Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa, yes.
Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa, yeah. I don't think anyone will be saying that anymore after his managerial run recently. So yeah, but anyway, that's the situation there. Yeah, so Sheffield United, not an easy game, as you said. Frank Lampard's done a cracking job there. Like him or not, he's done a very, very good job there. Their only loss in their last 7, of which 6 are wins, was against Leeds United. So they're going into that in a decent bit of form, and it won't be straightforward. Sheffield United, for all of their points total this season, haven't been playing necessarily brilliantly well. Everyone talks about Gus Hamer being such an important player. I think he's 1, maybe 2 goals and assists ahead of Brendan Aronson, who we're all talking about having a poor second half of the season. So it tells you what Hamer's doing this year as well. More so not necessarily saying what Aronson is or isn't doing, more so what Hamer's doing from his perspective. So they have a tough run in as well. They've got Burnley to play. Burnley also have to go and play Coventry as well. And Burnley will be at their home away this week. They're home to Bristol City, who Bristol City have taken points off Leeds and Sheffield United this year. So not an easy weekend for them either.
And you get strange results at this stage of the season. Pressure does very strange things to a lot of people. I don't like reverting back to it, but Good Friday 2019, Leeds United Wigan. Wigan had a man sent off. Leeds missed a penalty. Patrick Bamford scored, and you're thinking, yeah, this is it. This is us up. And then look what happened. So firmly on the ground. So yeah, let's do it. Let's entice it. Let's go for it. Let's take the ball by the horns and get the first 3 points on the run. And it's the 3-game league now, isn't it? It's an 8-game season with a 3-team league, and you just got to make sure you finish first or second in that 3-team league. And if they can do it, they'll be heroes and be ready for the Premier League next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Coventry City also lost Derby a few weeks back, not just this. No, before their run, they lost to Derby. I'm talking about since the run started, the only team in that bracket or that block was Leeds. So
yeah, correct.
But yeah, they lost lots of games before that block of games.
Yes.
But yeah, I appreciate that, Michael. Thanks for keeping me honest, mate. Yeah, and we'll talk about the team news that came out of today, because it's pretty encouraging. Again, like players or not, I keep getting asked why I keep bringing up these players, because they still play for Leeds United and they're still part of the squad. So on his team squad, Max Ferber had his first day back in full team training this week. He's only had 1 day, but he's back. It'll take him a couple of weeks to get back up to match speed, but you might see him on the bench in the coming weeks.
Yes.
Pat Bamford has had a week back in team training and he's pushing himself hard. Farkas said that he's not ready to play. It will take him a couple of weeks to get up to match speed, but he said he's encouraged by how hard he is working on the training pitch to get himself back in the running for the end of this season.
Yes.
Ethan Ampadu is back in team training since last week. He's 2 weeks ahead of schedule. That's a massive, massive recovery for him. And Farkas said a couple of weeks ago, he doesn't need a huge amount of sessions to be ready for matches. And we saw the last time he came back from injury, Daniel Farke was very keen to put him back into that team as quickly as he could. Again, having the skipper on board. Junior Firpo will be assessed when he gets back this afternoon. He's expected to be in Thorpe Arch at some point today. He'll only have the recovery session pretty much tomorrow before they go to before Swansea come up. And then the big question was around Willie Gnonto. It's the ankle roll. He said he has had rehab and has been assessed this week, but it will be a late decision and he could be available to play or be in the squad, but unlikely to start the game again based on what he said there. And then the only other player that was discussed was Harry Gray. Asked about the possibility of having Harry Gray in it. Baron Cross has put a piece out that basically says Farke wants to play him. It's not exactly what Daniel Farke said. What he actually said was it's too early for him and it's too soon and he needs time. He said that training with the senior team is giving him an opportunity to develop, and that's great, but they don't want to rush him in because finishing at a senior level is very, very different from finishing at a youth level. And he has Joel Peru and Mateo Joseph ahead of him already this year. So that's actually what he said. Strange to see a comment, the post that went out, but yeah, that's what was said about Harry. So Harry's not going to be knocking on the door anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think you can throw Harry Gray in at this stage. It's a massive prize, and Harry's been doing really well in the reses and scoring plenty of goals. I think you need your experience, don't you, at this stage of the season? And interesting, just some points you made there. I think Ampadu starts. Who he starts for is anybody's guess. Well, I think you've got to put him in the central midfield, that defensive midfield role. Personally, I'd probably put him in with Ao Tanaka, which then probably do you leave Stroick and Roden in the two centre backs. So yeah, Gnonto maybe on the bench. I think it'd be 50-50 to see where he is. And then Pat Bamford is sort of a bit of the elephant in the room, isn't he? Yeah. I think if Gnonto doesn't make it, Pat comes back on the bench. Afternoon, Joe. Good evening, Joe. Even. I think it's written somewhere with, and I said this to my pals last night, that for all the injury troubles that Pat's had, it's probably written in the stars he comes on and scores a winning goal to take Leeds back into the Premier League. Yeah. And what have you. So, yeah, I literally just said that, Chris. Literally just said that. So, yeah, and it will be a story after all that's happened with his injury record as well. So, yeah, I think, as I say, I think Ampadu does come back in probably for Rothwell, and then you go Tanaka in the two pivot roles, and that'll probably be the only change. I think Aronson will play because I don't think Nonce will be fully fit, and I think it's good in a way that Brendan hasn't gone away with America and travelled all the sexy elephant in the room, banging top bids. Thanks, Joe. I like that one. I like that analogy. So yeah. And I think it's the right time to have these players come back into fitness because it's been a long season. They came back in July after a heavy season last year, then obviously just missing out on the playoffs last year. So, yeah, I do expect Ethan to come back in. And isn't it great for a manager to have the selection headaches this time of the season? And that's what you want. So, yeah, but definitely Ampadu come in. And I think you do see Aronson starting that number 10 role as well. So, yeah, very much looking forward to it. Tough game, but an opportunity for Leeds to go and get 3 points, all being well, against Swansea City and get another double over Swansea. And a nice little stat that I've pulled out. Leeds have never done the double-double over both teams from South Wales in the same season. So they obviously they thumped Cardiff 7-0 at Ellen Road and beat them at the Cardiff City Stadium 2-0. And in a crazy game back in November, they beat Swansea City 4-3. So looking to do at the double-double over team from South Wales, like they did over the team from Sheffield. Leeds have Sheffield's number, can they now have South Wales's number? So yeah, interesting team selections to ponder, but that's why Daniel's paid the big bucks to make those decisions. And I'm sure with a free run at it ahead of the Luton game next week, I think he'll go for very, very strong on Saturday afternoon. And it's a game I always look forward to. The home games. It'll be a cracking atmosphere. And now you get to that stage of the season where it is a bit of the jeopardy, isn't it? Every point counts now at this stage of the season. Every result counts. We'll see what Coventry City do against Sheffield United tomorrow night, and then it's full steam ahead to Ellen Road against Swansea City on Saturday afternoon. And isn't it nice to kick off at 3 o'clock as well?
It's very rare for a while, isn't it? I think it's between now and the end of the season. We've got one more.
Potentially Bristol City, but obviously dependent on.
That's gonna get moved. That's gonna get moved.
I assume it will be. Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
I'm waiting to book flights for that game, and I can't book them
because
that game's Friday or Sunday, and I don't know. So. It's the only game I've had my friend Brian are trying to get over to it, and the two was talking about it in the week and saying, like, they'll hardly move that game now, considering they've moved 3 in April already. And like, nope, they haven't. They still the 1 week they could move.
Yeah.
So.
I think they will because of what's potentially riding on it as well. So, but that's 6 games time, and who knows, might be promoted by then. Who knows? But
yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah,
lots of football to be played. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Swansea are going through a bit of crisis at the moment. They in their what's the stat of their last 14 games, they've lost 10.
Yes.
So, 6 points now above the relegation zone. So some real danger for them coming into the weekend. I'm trying to see who likes of Derby you've got this weekend. Derby County have got our home to Preston, so they could narrow that gap even more if
absolutely
Swansea don't get a result. Alan Sheehan is staying on for a little bit longer as caretaker manager of Swansea. The former, as you've already mentioned, the former Leeds United left back, wonderful left foot, great free kick taker.
Oh, it's got a brilliant free kick against Doncaster Rovers back in 2008. Wonderful. And then second season, I actually seem to remember with Alan Sheehan, he got sent off twice for Leeds under Gary Mack. He got sent off at Yeovil and then got sent off at Swansea, and he wasn't really seen again after that. So that was the emergence of AD White, and that was kind of the end of Alan Sheehan's stint at Ellen Road.
Yeah, he was good when we had him. Wasn't there long, but he was.
Yes.
It was decent. It was a very weird time for Leeds at that stage. Players
certainly was
long anyway. So yeah, but yeah, they've got some late calls themselves. They've got a few people that are out injured as well. So not going to be a straightforward game. It sounds easy on paper. Home game for Leeds. They've lost 2 of their last 5 games in a row. The last 2 in a row. 2 wins in that spell as well. They conceded 49 goals in 38 games. They scored 38. So they're averaging scoring 1 goal per game. If you look at their away record, though, which is the more important one of that, Swansea have a better away record than they do. Well, actually, don't. They're bang on the same. 17th place. They have scored 18 goals in their 19 games. So still in around that 1 goal per game average, conceded 29. Their away record of their last 5 away games, they've won 1, lost 3, and drawn 1. They haven't won any of their last 3 away games. Leeds, from a home perspective, well, it's still the best home record in the league, and it still looks really, really good. Yes. Leeds last five home games, 4 wins, 1 draw, and a decent spot going into this. So yeah, it's a huge weekend for everybody involved. But coming up against the Swansea side, who will be scrapping stats, I don't think we'll see sitting in low blocks, especially after the first game this season.
Yeah, I think if you watch that game back, it was just attack, and I think they equalised very late on, didn't they? 3-3, and the next thing you know, Leeds are going at the end and willing on to score the winning goal. So, I've lost.
No, I've lost stats. Someone's lost somebody. I'm not sure if I've lost stats or if stats have lost me. You can let me know if you can hear me. You can let me know in the comments. But I've lost. There he is. He's back. Kind of back.
I'm back. What happened there? I think we had to.
No idea.
I think there's some technical issues there. So yeah, the game at the SwanseaCity.com stadium was just crazy, wasn't it? That it was attack, and we attack, you attack, and that'll probably do Leeds a little bit of a favour, really. They'll come out and play because, as you rightly say, just looking at the league table, and I was actually quite surprised when I picked up that Swansea they're not safe yet. They're on 44 points. They're 6 away from danger at the moment, and obviously I think the thing with Swansea is there's a lot of traffic behind them. You probably think if they pick up 2 more wins, they'll get to 50 points, and then we'll probably see them over the line. Fairness, they had a weird season of Swansea. So I think they had Luke Williams in charge, didn't they, for a wee while? That came from Notts County. That didn't kind of work out, and Alan Sheehan's obviously taken over as caretaker. Done okay. They weren't great against Burnley last time out. They've still got some decent players that the Leeds kind of need to keep an eye on. But again, you're at home. It's a game you expect to win. And I think Leeds will win. Get the home ground behind us. They know what's at the end of the rainbow now. And it's a big opportunity now for Leeds to go and get the 3 points and just keep the pressure on before. I think next week is massive in the Championship because it's a 2-game week next week. And you kind of look at the fixtures. Leeds go to Luton at 12:30. Burnley go to Coventry at 12:30. Sheffield United go to Oxford, fighting for their lives on the Saturday, and then on the Tuesday night the fixtures just get bigger and bigger. Burnley get a derby, Sheffield United home to Millwall, Leeds get a Borough, and then you kind of that night, a week on Tuesday, you probably get a better idea of where we're at going to the last 5 games of the season. And yeah, it's going to be tricky, it's going to be dicey, it's going to be emotional, but I do feel Leeds will have enough to get over the line.
Yeah, and it's going to get edgy and nervy. That's completely understandable. And also, to the people that are saying we won't go up and we'll end up in the playoffs and we'll end up in the Championship again next year, I also understand where that's coming from. We have seen this story before. I understand where that anxiety is coming from. So, yeah, completely understandable. But at some point, it has to be your time, doesn't it? At some point, it has to go your way. At some point,
and I think if we don't go up this year, I think we could be in this league for a while. And I think that's where the fear comes from. And obviously people lived through it last season, similar position to last season. After international breakup went wrong last season. I think they've learnt from that. I think Daniel's come out in the presser very positive with his approach, with his mannerisms. And yeah, bring it on. It's a wonderful prize at the end of it, and it's a potential to have a wonderful party at the end of it. Would agree with that, Sean. I think Borough is a tricky away game. Went there and won 4-3 last season. Yeah, very much looking forward to it, and bring it on.
Yeah, Thirsty Pod saying you take 8 1-0 wins at this point, and Duncan coming back, but let's start with 1 8-0 win and then see where we go from there.
Doesn't matter, win's a win.
Scooby, well, with all this anxiety and nerves, I sure wish we had a cool head in front of goal. Yeah,
I think that means a cool head.
There is just one thing I want to just flash up real quickly before we move on and start to get into predictions, and that's the Leeds United Legends game coming to Bray, County Wicklow in Ireland on May the 10th, 2025. Link is down below in the description if you want to get tickets. I got my tickets this week for it as well, so I'll be at the game. I'm hoping to sneak onto the pitch. Don't tell anyone. I'm hoping to get 5 minutes on the park if I can, see if I get my boots out. But yeah, if you want to come and have a chat, if you want to come and watch the game, it's a fantastic opportunity to come. And I know that the term legends has been used loosely, but they're all players that represented Leeds positively during their careers at the club. Yes. So, and unfortunately, the lads of the John Reevy team are not all particularly able to go out and play 90 minutes of a game anymore. So, it's the last 20 years. So there's some really good people there. Ian Hart will be there. Michael Bridges will be there. Jermaine Beckford will be there. Ross McCormick will be there, all playing in the game as well. Brilliant. They're hoping to get a couple of more there. Sean will also be there. So we'll
fabulous, Sean.
Well, but yeah, if you want to get tickets, the link is down below there. If you can't, if you want to click on it, if that's not working for whatever reason, your browser or whatever else, check out Eventbright.ie and then just type in Leeds United and you will find the game. There is also a banquet dinner for this as well that you can get tickets for, to have dinner with the team beforehand and a lunch.
Oh, fabulous.
All that stuff's available on Eventbrite. You can check that out if you want to. So yeah, we're getting closer and closer to that match, and it's going to be a really big day. And as they always say, Leeds bring more, so they're hoping to beat the crowds they've gotten for the likes of the Liverpool legends and the Manchester United legends that have come over as well. So yeah, if this goes well, there could be more opportunities and get Leeds back to Ireland more often, because I used to hear it all the time. Stats, talk to me about your thinking coming into the game. I know, again, as we said, on paper it should be a comfortable Leeds United win. That's not how football is played. You bring the tension, the crowd, everything else into the game, and all of a sudden it can turn very quickly. What are your predictions for how you see this game going, and your score as well?
I think Swansea will come and play, as people have said in the comments. They need the points just to make sure they get over the line. But I just think The only thing that I've got as a doubt is the late timeness that the players have got back. I'm guessing Tanaka is back. Now I think the majority of players are back at Thorpe Arch, and maybe a bit of weariness. But I just think Leeds get an early goal, like they have done in other home games. We'll see them over the line. I think it'll be. I'm going to go for 2-0 on Saturday. I think it'll be an edgy 2-0. But at this time of the season, and I've even said it on social media, it's points of a performance, isn't it? 100%. You get a 2-0 victory, people forget the performance. You can have 2 shots on target, 2 goals, doesn't matter. You get 3 points. At this stage of the season, that's all that matters. And I'm going to go for Joel Piroe to score against his old club. And I'm going to pull it out there. I want to see Ethan Ampadu score at Ellen Road. Because it'd just been out for him to come back, and a Welsh international as well to score against Swansea. So 2-0 Leeds with the X1 and the Welsh international to score the goals. And yeah, bring it on. I'm very excited. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's the best time of the season. Yeah. And leading up to Easter, I'm hoping it'll be done and dusted by the time we go down to the Kazam Stadium for a first ever league visit to Oxford United's new ground. I said new ground. They moved in 2002-03. So yeah, bring it on, Jay. Can't wait. And let's get 3 points against the Swans on Saturday.
Yeah, let's hope so. There's a couple of potential milestone moments as well, just to keep an eye out for. If Illan Meslier keeps one more clean sheet, that will move him to 22 clean sheets, which will be the best season that he's had statistically at the club. Highs and lows this season for Illan, but he has made some big saves. The save against QPR, the one, the near post where it's on top of, for me, deserves an awful lot more respect than it got. But huge moments. But he's had big mistakes this year, but he's also had some big moments for us as well. But one more clean sheet gets him over the line and gives him his best ever season at Leeds.
And as we've always said, because the goalkeeper's the last line of defence, he's the one that gets the criticism, so to speak. But we win as a team, we lose as a team. I'm sad not to read that. And I do believe we'll get over the line, and the celebrations will be brilliant, all being well, against, I'm hoping, Bristol City at the end of April.
Yeah, keep an eye also out for Joel Piroe, who's 5 goals away from 20 goals this season as well. So he's got 8 games left to do it. That's the target Daniel Farke sent him. And again, he tends to do quite well against Swansea's old club as well. I've gone for 2-0 in the predictions league that we have.
To do mine.
Yeah, I'll stick with that with the group for now. But I should say, I like what you're saying about the Welsh lads. Like, I want to see Joe Rodon score his first goal for Leeds. I want to see that happen against Swansea and watch him go absolutely.
Scored against Derby. Scored against Derby, did Rodon?
Did he? Sorry, his first goal at Road then.
Yes.
I hope it's that Road, not Road. I don't know, but I want to see him score more goals. But Joe Rodon score. And as has been said, Dan James. A couple of people have said Dan James. There's one.
Swan as well.
The other Dan James was there somewhere. Dan James tends to do very well against his old sides. There somewhere.
He does indeed. Had a massive part to play in the game at still call it the Liberty Stadium back in November.
Yeah, whatever it's called today. But it'll change next year. Right, folks, we're going to wrap up there. Stats, anything going on you want to plug or talk about?
No, all good. Just bring it on. 8 games, 8 cup finals. Starts here. Business end of the season. Bring it on.
Yeah, that'll do us, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day and evening. Back in the morning for the last news video of the week before we get ready for the weekend's action. There will be a warm-up video out tomorrow evening as well to give you all the statistics, data, and all that in a short, sharp little pack to get you ready for the game. You can watch out for that one. And then we're into the game. I haven't confirmed because I was asked about doing the watch-along on Saturday on Big Up. Not confirmed just yet. There's a possibility I won't be here. I'm still waiting on my better half to get home, and she's been away this week. When she gets home, I'll know what the plan for the weekend is. So yeah, and then next week I'm traveling to the UK for Monday, Tuesday, but I'll try and get some stuff out, make sure it's out for everyone during that time as well. But keep an eye on the community tab, or the posts tab as it's called now, in the YouTube portal, and you'll get the updates there as well. Anyway, that'll do us. Stats, thanks as always, mate. Folks,
my pleasure.
See you soon.